Hello, everyone. I am so excited for you to hear the very first episode of Backstage with Jamie Klein Bates. I brought on for you as my first guest, the person I love the most in the entire world. He's the pastor of Church 1132. He's the father of my kids, and he has amazing things to share with you today about his life, his journey with God, his walk through faith and doubts, and his childhood. And he still won't give us his Enneagram, y'all, but it is a really good episode. So enjoy this time with my favorite person in the whole world, Dustin Bates. Well, babe, are you ready for this? You're going to put that phone away for me?
I think so. I might have to answer a couple things while we're going.
I'll bet you will have to. Did you come from deep work?
I did not. I came from shallow, turbulent work.
Oh, explain to my listeners deep work. This is your newest thing.
Are we going right now?
Oh, yeah. We're starting. This is a casual atmosphere where we just kind of go with the flow. It's your worst nightmare.
This is my worst nightmare.
So thank you for doing this. I should actually really thank Binky. Boo,
yeah, well, Bianca and I have been talking. And
for everyone who doesn't know, Bianca is Dustin's assistant.
My assistant, Bianca, we've been talking.
Work mom.
And we have established that I am 100% an introvert.
An introvert.
And if there was ever any question in anybody's mind, we asked the valuable questions, and we have decided that it is true.
You're an introvert.
So yes.
Okay, so tell me about deep work. And then we'll do an official start, but
Deep Work is a new it's a book that's out and
that you just read on her.
That I just read.
Time away.
And it's changed my life. Mm-hmm. And Deep Work is basically the difference is deep work versus shallow work. Mm-hmm. Most of the work we do is interrupted. It's multitasking. And so even when we multitask and you jump into a new task, there's elements of your brain power, neurological fragments that are left on the task that you just finished. Mm. And it detracts from the brain power that you have on the task that you go back to. Mm. So for instance, if I'm preparing a message or teaching, and then I answer an email and I answer a text, there's parts of my brain that are still thinking about that as I try to focus in on the
And it takes away from the thing you were originally doing.
Correct. So deep work is like a new level of concentrated focus that I'm not returning emails, not returning texts, not answering phone calls, no social media, nothing, and dedicated hours that I'm spending on specific projects that I've already kind of pre-established. So
you pick one specific project.
Correct.
Bianca picks one specific project and you go in hard on it and everything else goes away.
Yeah. So today.
For how many hours?
Today for 4 hours.
Okay.
4 hours of deep work. Yep. No text. Actually, I did take a break. So I'm still getting there. It's a work in progress.
You're doing great, babe.
I did an hour and a half of deep work.
This is big for you.
And then I took a break, bathroom break. And on the way to the bathroom, I did text you.
You texted me. Thank you.
And responded to a couple different people. And but then I went back in for 2.5 hours of deep work, all for Sunday's message.
Can you tell a difference?
I can tell a massive difference. It's really wild how much interruption there is in a day. Yeah. And so uninterrupted time and focus on one specific task it's wild. The amount of brain power that you can put towards something, and then the amount of results that you see.
So then you just came from turbulent shallow waters.
Turbulent shallow waters.
Does the deep work make the turbulent shallow waters easier to bear?
No, it's a division between, instead of my deep work being interrupted by shallow tasks or trouble still what or crisis. Shallow is shallow.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yep. And everybody has shallow.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have to answer emails and all. But there's a lot of studies that have been done on the amount of time that people go between checking their emails. Yeah. There's actually an endorphin rush that we get when a notification happens.
Oh,
so
wow.
Even the ding of a text, the vibration of a text, it releases endorphins that people need me or want me.
And that feels good to us?
It feels good to us.
Yeah.
Even if we don't answer, we thrive off of the that sensation. Yeah. And so to turn that all off and have nothing interrupt your thought patterns and thinking, It's very good in theory. I need to continue to practice
you're 2 days strong now.
I'm all week.
You're all week?
All
You're
week.
4 days strong.
What is this?
Babe,
Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, so all week long.
I'm so proud of you. Well, welcome to my podcast,
Thank
Backstage
you.
with J.K. Bates, that you thought up and that you are financing.
Great.
And thank you for being a guest.
Yeah. Well, I am a creative director on the side. So
We all know that.
it's undercover.
So before I jump into questions, because I want to dig into your life, because I want people to hear about it, because it's amazing and fascinating. But I had Thai food today.
Yes.
With Hannah. And I had to tell you this because remember, okay, so we go into this Thai food restaurant and they ask me my spice level. Well, now, what do you know my spice level is?
I know your spice level is as spicy as they will give it to you.
You know me.
Yes.
That's exactly right. So I say, give it to me as spicy as you can. Now, I've been to 3 Thai food restaurants around the Allen McKinney area. I say, spice levels off the charts. I can handle it. It's always like a 2 to my palate, right? I go in here and I'm like, listen. And so I speak Thai and I say pet mak ka, which means very, very, very spicy. Remember when I used to speak Thai?
Yes. Swati ka.
It's oh.
Kap kum ka.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but I think it's something.
Literally speaking my love language right now. So we're in there and they bring it out and I take a bite and it is so stinking spicy. And it brought me back to remember that tiny restaurant when we were first married. And it was our date night out because we had no money.
Yes.
And so it was like once a month we would go to like a Thai restaurant.
Yes.
And remember the big guy that would be like, no. And you would be like, she can handle it.
Yes.
And he brought out that dish that one night.
And he burnt you out.
And he burnt me out. I was thinking, it just brought me back to like our first year of marriage as I'm like driving here to talk to you. And I'm feeling a little nostalgic.
Yeah, well, if people don't know that it's not flavorful for you.
Right.
Until your nose is running, your eyes are watering.
That's right.
And it sounds like you're having a major problem. But at that sound of major crisis is actually a place of delight for you.
Pleasure and delight.
Yeah.
We were out to dinner with our friends, the Francies.
They thought something was wrong.
They thought I was going into cardiac arrest from the wasabi. But anyways, I was thinking about that little restaurant in Centralia next to Godfather's, and I'm sure it's not there anymore. But
it was a new restaurant like every 6 months.
Those were sweet little days, weren't they?
It was a good $7.50.
Bean burritos every single day.
$1.82.
$1.82 bean burritos for the first year, and then just a Thai food night or an Olive Garden night out. Okay, anyways, let's jump in. You are born to Boppy and Button Bates.
Boppy and Button has been dubbed by grandkids.
Boppy and Button Bates.
I have not adopted the name Boppy and Button.
And you have 4 siblings. Do you know their names?
I have 4 siblings. Lindsay is my oldest sister.
And if you could describe Lindsay in one word, how would you describe her?
Lindsay is like a reality TV star. She is she would be our family fashion designer.
100%.
Check us before we walked out the door to church, to school, anywhere. And then my brother.
She's really down on us, right? Like she's not encouraging at all.
She's one of the most affirming people you will ever meet.
If you walk in the room with Lindsay, his older sister, you will feel like you are like
amazing,
the best person to ever live. Okay, so anyways,
yes,
next.
She's incredible. She has an incredible husband. They live in Sacramento and in California. And then I'm next, and then my brother Ryan. And Ryan's got an incredible wife. They both Ryan works at the church here, and his wife works at the school, and is now Jude's kindergarten teacher. Which is crazy that he's in kindergarten. And then, let's see, then my next sibling is Casey, and her and her husband pastor in Salem. She's incredible, larger than life personality, and hilarious. Yeah. And I got incredible kids, my nieces and nephews. And then Whitney is the youngest. She's the baby of the family.
We call her Nene.
She lives with us.
Yep.
And our boys love her. And she is our missions director here at the church. And so we grew up really close-knit family and loving each other and still love each other and are close. And it's been cool to see.
That was one of the coolest things, I think, marrying into the Bates family was every family has their stuff, but when you find a close family, You know, a family that stands by each other.
Yeah.
A family that, hey, you may scream at each other. Actually, you guys don't scream at all.
We don't scream.
You're not screamers. But a family who takes issue at times or has different things, but always, always, always comes back to family.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of an attractive part of you.
Oh, really?
As I'm guessing it was.
Tell us more.
As I'm guessing it was about me as well.
It was, absolutely. Absolutely.
We have great families.
We have great family. We're very blessed.
Here's a real test for you, though.
Okay.
Okay, so Button, who's Dustin's mom.
Yes. She actually has a name, but
Nobody
all you people,
knows her name.
you can just
it
call her
doesn't matter.
Button.
We just all call her Button, and she's an amazing mother in love, and she loves.
Actually talked to her today.
You did?
I was driving back from Shallow Waters. She's doing great. She says hello.
Was she asking about Jude's kindergarten day?
No,
What'd you talk about?
She was asking me, let's see, about our time off.
Oh,
and so,
she would care about that. She's
and how re-entry was, how the church
did you tell her about
doing.
deep work?
I didn't,
No.
and I did tell her that she wasn't going to get a hold of me anymore. We're working
You're not going to give her
deeply.
your deep work phone number.
Okay.
Okay, so what we know about Button is, though, one of the many amazing things is she loves the meaning of names.
Yes, she does.
And she's taught multiple intern classes here.
Yes.
Sometimes 30 plus interns. Yes. And before she comes, she figures out the meaning of their names.
True.
So I have a test for you.
Okay.
Can you give me the meaning of all your sibling names?
Oh, my siblings. Let's see. I don't think so.
Okay.
I can get pretty close.
Okay.
Ryan, I know.
Okay, what is it?
He always liked the king part of it. I like the little part because Ryan means little king. And he's my little brother, and I'll just make sure he always remembers that. Dustin means mighty warrior. Mm-hmm. Whitney, I think, means gift from God.
Oh.
Or joy. And her middle name's
It's
Joy.
Joy. You could be taking the middle name and projecting it.
Yeah, there could be some confusion
Gift
there.
from God feels like a really good answer, though.
And Lindsay, I got to place Lindsay's. We've talked about this. I think it's a meaning that she didn't love.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I just can't place it. So,
okay,
Lindsay, you're going to have to help me on that one. And I cannot remember Casey's either. So I still love them equally.
I know you do. You did really
Thanks
good.
for the test and for really preparing me in advance to fail.
For everybody to know, we lived pretty shallow, turbulent lives. This is the new phrase you just coined in public. So we have not discussed this podcast. We have not talked about this podcast.
Yeah, no.
I said today, as he's walking out the door, I'll see you at the podcast.
Literally, I called you about a half hour before this and let you know that I'm nervous because I had literally
Not
had no
nervous, whatever.
But I really was because
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is about.
You're in good.
And I'm in your hands.
You're in good hands with me.
And I think you enjoy being in charge.
You know it.
And telling me what to do.
You know it, boy.
Asking questions that are recorded.
This is what it's like, babe. It's like when you walk into this room, sit at this table with me, and you join the
Well, it's an honor, to say the least.
And you join the Backstage with J.K. Bates family here. As far as a guest, it's kind of like being in a car with me without me grabbing panic for the seat and
I'm trying to follow this analogy.
and screaming
But
at
to
you.
tell you the truth, all I can think about is a old series we taught on dating. Can you remember this?
When back
That we
Movement
named
days?
it. It was just so embarrassing. We
oh my
named
gosh,
it
yeah, I know. I can't believe Pastor Steve let us do this.
In the Back Seat with Dustin and Jamie. First of all, if we're ever in a back seat, I don't want anyone there. Second of all, I don't know why we ever named a series that.
That tells you Pastor Steve's trust level right there.
So to be totally honest, whenever I hear the name of your podcast, I do think of that series.
Oh, because backstage. Oh.
But anyways.
Well, it's probably not a super sad thought for you to be in the back seat with me.
It's actually a very entertaining thought.
Okay, we're keeping this family friendly.
We'll stop there.
No, but it's just like riding in the car.
Do you have a little time after this, though?
We're being chill. We're being chill. We're in the car. We're driving. We're not on 121. We're definitely not on 75. And Lord knows we are not on the tollway.
Oh. Or Highway 1.
Or Highway 1.
Or 101, I guess it
because
is. Along the
you
coast
know
in
how
California.
crazy I get. I would give our marriage, I don't know what you would give it. I'd give it a 9.
You'd give our marriage a 9?
If I was scoring it, I'd give it a 9. And the only missing point.
Is my driving?
Nope. It would just be the two of us. No. I'm not about blame. The two of us in the car together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a conflicting
It's
time.
I feel like it's our only problem
Turbulent,
anymore.
shallow water.
It's turbulent, shallow waters. I feel like it's our only problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we have other problems.
Well, we have other problems, but they're solved quickly.
I mean, you're working on them.
No, our other problems are being solved rapidly and with
Yes.
communication and
hard work
and
selfless love
and learning each other.
Serving each
All of
other.
it. All of that. We are on track.
Yes.
The one thing we can't get on track.
Yeah.
The driving.
And I've tried to adjust my driving.
You have.
I really have. So I'm not sure if it's like we both give a little bit, like it's your turn now, or
and I try sometimes. I just close my eyes and put my head down
and press the imaginary brake.
Yeah, and scream every once in a while.
And grab.
Okay, let's see how well you've been listening.
Okay.
To my panic. What's my number one pet peeve with your driving?
Number one pet peeve with my driving is your assumption that someone breaks in front of me and I accelerate.
You get me. That's exactly right.
Which I don't understand why I would accelerate if someone was braking, unless someone has short-sighted vision.
Let me finish this because I know you as well, because you nailed it. Your explanation would be you can see 4 cars ahead.
That's exactly right.
Is that right?
So someone may have hovered over the brake and illuminated a brake light
and you see
on
there's
accident.
I know, and you see there's 3 cars ahead with no brake lights.
Yep.
But the one in front of you, so you're assuming that brake light's going to go off.
Yep, and they're going to take off.
And so you may as well.
I don't want to miss a moment.
You may as well just hit the pedal.
Well, I don't know if I hit it, but definitely be ready. I have not been known to miss very many opportunities.
Oh my goodness!
To practice that even in my drive.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we're a 9 other than that.
Yeah.
What would you score us?
Agree to disagree on.
What would you score us? I'm an optimist, so.
I would rate us pretty high. I just don't think about negative things like the driving conflict. But
it's a hard way to start the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just dive. You kind of really hung me out to dry there. I would say our the marriage is pretty high though.
What are we? Not me.
I think we're about an 8.7.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give a little lower than you said, but I'm definitely
that's true to our personalities. I can respect and like that.
I critique things a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's good.
You're a little more positive than I am.
It's good for both of us.
I think, I'm a trajectory guy.
You are.
I look at where
your middle name should be Trajectory or long term.
Long term.
Because you're always looking.
Yeah, yes. Trajectory. No, I'm all. I really am. I'm all about trajectory. Yeah. If something's improving, then I can have faith forever because I believe in that long-term process. And where we've started and where we've gone, it's been such an incredible trajectory.
Yeah,
like that's exciting. That's exciting. So I don't want to say a 9.9 because there's no room for improvement. Right. I just think our trajectory is
our trajectory is a 10.
Our trajectory is a 10.
I love it. Now, what's your Enneagram? No, just joking.
Okay.
I'm just joking.
I've never taken.
I know how you feel about personality tests. You don't need to say it. I'm not.
You can't put me in a box.
I know, babe. I know. You know what's really funny though? I'm going to tell you this, and then
one of the Enneagram
I really want to hear more about
numbers is, let me guess, is people that don't like to be put in a box. Which it's probably true.
No,
but I don't care.
No, but that's really funny. There should be.
Yeah.
No, so I have thought about your Enneagram.
Okay.
And I haven't wanted to talk about this with you, but in a public setting, you're going to have to.
Because I usually would not like to talk about it.
You wouldn't like to talk about it. So I
time
chose to pounce.
But
this is a funny story, and then we'll move on past it. Okay. I really brought up Enneagram to be funny and just to like get on you, but this is pretty funny.
Okay.
So I was reading, somebody asked me.
Our marriage score is dropping right now.
Okay, so I'm literally laughing. Okay, somebody asked me what your Enneagram was a while ago. So I went on to read because I know my Enneagram. It's a 9. I'm a peacemaker. I am compliant and complacent. I have great qualities too. But
how would you like that box to be put on you? Compliant and complacent? No way.
I have amazing qualities as well. No, I really do. Like the peacemaker.
Oh, I know you have amazing
Shout out to my 9s. Shout out to my 9s. I know
all you 9s, don't accept the box that you have been put in. Do not be complacent. Do not be compliant. Find some fight. Go after something in this world.
Okay. You aren't on the stage over there. Okay, so I went to try and find your Enneagram because, so everybody, Dustin's big thing is that he really fits a lot of different personality types. He is a little bit of a, what's the word? An anomaly. where you really like the love languages. You're all of the love languages.
Right.
100%. You're the one, all of them. Like I could clean out the garage and you will feel top love.
Yep.
I could buy you a backpack and you will feel top love.
Yep.
I could.
As long as it's a nice backpack.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah. But you really do defy some statistics, which is one of the reasons you're so amazing.
Which is why I started not liking
personality tests. Yes. Exactly. But so this is funny, and this will prove your point, which you'll be happy about. And then I want to hear about your childhood. Oh. Okay. So I went to read through all the Enneagrams. I read through 1, Dustin, 2, Dustin, 3, Dustin, 4, Dustin, 5, totally Dustin, 6, Dustin, 7, 100% Dustin, 8, totally you. Guess the only one that you have no compatibility.
What you are.
9.
I need you in my life.
I'm serious.
Wow.
You relate with every single number except mine.
That's incredible.
How insane is that? It's creepy.
Man, I got chills.
Whatever. What'd you call them the one time at the movement? Goose pimples? No, worship but. What? Do you remember this? You were at the movement. No, baby, you were at the movement. You go, I have something.
Goosebumps?
No. You didn't call them goosebumps, though. You called them something.
I have no idea.
You did it by people back in the day will remember. Okay, whoever was back in the movement back in the day, text me and tell me because Bianca would remember. We actually need to do a second podcast with Bianca because I feel like the three of us have a really good dynamic.
Oh yeah,
it'd be really funny. But you're never coming back, I know. Okay, so you're a pastor's kid.
I am,
and you grew up a pastor's kid from day one, and your dad pastored, your mom homeschooled, but she was really involved with the church, and everything you hear, or not everything, but a lot of the things you hear and a lot of the stigmas you hear are about pastors' kids, or they go off the deep. And I think this is a question your parents get asked a lot. I think this is a question we get asked a lot. Well, you get asked and I get asked about you, is that how in the world did they get 5 kids, all still serving God? And serving God's not about ministry. We know that. Vocational ministry. It's about walking with God. How are all 5 of their kids walking with God and living for Jesus when you grew up like every other pastor's kid? Because clearly you really didn't. Mm-hmm. And so what do you think it was? Yeah. And maybe some stories about back in the day just at the church and as a child, like growing up in the church.
I think there's a couple things that just stick out like about my childhood and about our perspective of church and ministry and all those things. Was there was not a lot of divisions for us between
divisions as in what church life was and what ministry life was and what home life was, or sports or friends.
No, it was I guess the best way to say it is my mom and dad were real Christians. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't a platform dad.
So you never saw your dad come home on a Sunday and like yell at you guys?
No, never.
You never saw him come home and like drink a bottle of whiskey?
No.
You never saw him come. I mean, it was just he really walked off the stage and acted like he...
Yeah. And wow. I honestly like... And people have asked me this question before, and I think I've given a lot of different answers that were key contributors to us loving the church and loving the Lord. But honestly, I think that was the number one thing, is that we never saw the breakdown of their lives where my dad's up preaching one thing and then out living another, or my mom is not supporting my dad or not supporting the church, or not. We just did
talking
church
bad
together.
About him behind his back.
No, we did life together. We did church together. We did family together. There was consistency.
Yeah,
and I think that a lot of people that don't that grow up in the church and get disenchanted with the church, with the Lord, is because most of it points back to an inconsistent witness in a leader.
Yep.
And I just didn't see that. I saw
in your dad.
No,
And he was your first leader.
Yeah, I remember. I love telling the story, like going fishing with my dad. We're going salmon fishing, and we'd catch. Huge. We got pictures. My brother with king salmon that are as tall as he is.
We're from the Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest, and I'm wearing my King Griffey Jr. jersey right now, and it's vintage, one of the best baseball players of all time, purest baseball swing ever. And I remember going fishing, and we would go and we'd get real healthy breakfast, chocolate milk and donuts. And we would drive to the river. And as we drive every single morning, my dad would pray. And And he just, nothing.
Like pray, just break it down, because a lot of people didn't have any dads that ever prayed, and they have no idea what that even would.
He would pray.
Like, what would he say?
He would pray out loud, not radically, not charismatically, but he would just like talk to God.
Yeah.
Like
what
Lord,
sort of thing
Lord,
would he
thank
say?
you for the weather.
Oh,
thank you, it's a beautiful day. Thank you for my boys. We get to go fishing today.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so grateful for my
He's
family.
literally bringing God into the car.
Yes. And my brother and I would oftentimes we'd fall asleep while he's praying, or we would talk amongst ourselves or mess around. But it was
Did he ever tell you like stop messing around and praying?
Never.
No.
It was just who he was.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that he was trying to show us.
Yeah.
It wasn't something he was trying to model for us. It was who he is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the missing key a lot of times. Like, he didn't, that old quote, you can teach what you know, but you reproduce who you are.
Who you are, yep.
That was really what my dad has done and my mom has done, is they never try to force that on us.
Yeah.
Although from a young age, we memorized scripture. I was actually, Jude, our oldest, just started kindergarten. And so I'm going to start taking him to school, right?
Yes,
and,
special morning, every morning
he has to
with
go
Dad.
early.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking about, what are we going to do on our drives to school? And so I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I'm going to get some declarations.
That's
I'm going
awesome.
to write down some things that we're going to declare together. And so I was writing them down.
Yeah.
And I started remembering that I memorized tons of scripture as a child with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And so my mom and dad, we would quote Psalm 1.
Oh, yeah.
And I started out of memory right there in my office today in my deep work. Quoting Psalm 1, blessed is the man who walks in the counsel of the godly, or whatever.
You'll be like a tree
planted by the rivers of God.
Oh, different versions.
Yes.
I'm probably using the message.
I can't memorize the message, it's too long. But it's incredible. I started thinking of all these things. And so I said, wow, man, I want to really make sure that Jude memorizes, because I have tons of scripture. We memorized Romans 12.
Yeah.
And I started quoting them that, therefore, present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing. This is your reasonable service. I'm on and on and on. So
did you do that with Jude this morning?
No, not yet. I was.
Okay. You're planning it.
Yeah, we actually worshiped. He asked for two specific songs. Go ahead. You can ask.
Surrounded, Fight My Battles.
That was his second choice.
Okay, first one.
He had to get hyped first.
Coming in hot.
Get out of my way.
Get out of my way.
I think by Andy Mineo or someone, get out of my way. And he had to have that one first, got pumped, and then he asked for Surrounded. And we had a good little worship time. But I want to be intentional,
you're coming up with declarations because that's what you think really made the difference for you guys.
I really think that did.
And I want to talk more about childhood, but you did say something I want you to unpack, because I know this has been a thing for you lately. You said that he was just a real Christian.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't anything that he preached. I'm sure you could remember messages he preached, but maybe not.
Yeah, not very many.
Yeah, probably not very many.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad. If you ever listen to this.
I think he'll be very touched by everything else you're saying.
I do remember a message called the third day that you preached. You preached at a camp.
Oh.
And out of Habakkuk, on the third day you will be raised up.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
when you hear that this coming Sunday, you'll know where Dustin got it.
Probably a lot of things.
But talk some about how, kind of what you've been thinking through, as far as like, it's not about being a pastor, a minister, on staff at a church, at a nonprofit, working in the streets, doing whatever. It's not about the things that we do. Like, it's about, at the end of every day, for people who are in like vocational ministry, or for our staff. We just spent some time away, and that's where I read the Deep Work book, and I'm just spending time with the Lord. And I just started to think about what does the Bible say about me as a Christian? Right. I've been in ministry my entire life. Since preaching since I was 16 years old. Yep. And I just started thinking about, what does it mean to be a Christian? And I think a lot of the things that we relegate to ministry, vocational ministry, pastoring, all those things are actually things that are biblical standards for just believers. And so I just started thinking about what a pure witness looks like, and what does holiness look like? What does godliness look like? What's the fruit of the Spirit What does love look like? What is faith? Patience? We don't even talk about the fruit of the Spirit. The evidence of the Spirit of God being in us is
love,
Yeah.
joy, peace, patience, kindness.
Yeah.
So I started just thinking about these things. We even talked to the staff this week about there are some things that are not ministry things.
Yeah.
They're just Christian,
Christian
things.
things.
And so I saw my dad not just be a great preacher, although he is,
Or a
not
leader,
just
or
not just be a great
rallier.
leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just he's the same person.
Yeah. He just talked to God
Consistency.
in the car on the way to fishing.
Yeah. To quote your man, Eugene Peterson.
Oh, you are stoking my love box or whatever it's called right now. Love language box. What is it? Love tank.
box.
Love tank. Oh my God.
I'm sure you got a love box too. That's tank, box,
I love
container, vessel.
Anyways, to quote my second pastor.
One of his books that you love, Obedience, right?
Long obedience
long
in the same
obedience
direction.
in the same direction. I think it's undervalued.
Yeah.
Is we want the flash and we want the pizzazz, and I don't know. I think we just maybe have lost sight of just like good Christian morals.
One step in front of the other.
Yeah.
Like living it out.
And at the end of the day, I don't want our kids to remember just messages I've preached.
Well, yeah, no.
I want them to have a dad that they saw pray.
Yep.
Not when they was trying to get them to pray. Not when he's trying to get them to go to church.
Right.
But
who lets them mess around in the back seat while you say, thanks God for this awesome day at Disneyland.
Yep, exactly. And I think another thing was we went to church. That's just what we did. That was a part of the
unpack
fabric.
that. This is way down my list, but go ahead and unpack it now. Because
it was a priority.
Yeah.
It was never
so
an
much
option.
priority that it was frustrating for you sometimes.
Well, I think
with sports.
I think maybe this is the time to confess this. Mom and Dad, my All-Star game when I was 13 years old, I couldn't play in the championship All-Star game because we had church.
I know.
And we went to church, and so I didn't play. And
but you haven't seen a therapist about that?
I don't really want to say if I have. No.
You talk about that like a positive experience, though. So this is my question: is okay? So you're 13.
Yeah.
You miss a big game.
Yeah.
Because your parents make you go to church.
Yeah.
And most 13-year-olds, 10 years later, would be like, "My parents made me."
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing that?
Yeah. I'm going to say it this way.
Okay.
And I really believe this is it because they never changed.
Your parents?
Yep.
Gotcha.
It was a value.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It wasn't we just got back from a conference and now you're not going to play baseball on Sundays.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a belief of our family.
It wasn't a fluctuating thing. It was just what it was.
I learned to respect it
Yeah.
because it never changed.
Yeah.
It was in the fabric of their Christian duty.
Yeah.
And they believed that the Sabbath was holy, that Sunday was our Sabbath, and
Yeah.
we were going to play sports on Sunday. We go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
And since then, they've relaxed and loosened that.
Of course. Both of our
evolved.
parents have completely,
But I
different
think the
people now,
example
but-
that they showed me is the message, and it was consistent.
Yeah. So you saw things go down in church when you were young, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like shallow, turbulent, like
Shallow, turbulent.
hurricane, tornado waters
Yes.
at a young age.
A young age.
Which I'm desperate to shield our children from seeing in our lives, or here.
Yeah.
But you saw it and you witnessed it and you still loved the church.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because so many people have been hurt by the church and they're out.
Yeah.
And it's valid because the church is full of normal humans that are just trying to follow Jesus, that still gossip and still hurt and still mess up and still break up and still all those things. But like, what made you like it more?
Yeah.
Watching so much pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People be angry. People cause division. People be offended. Angry with my dad as a
people
pastor.
tried to
talking bad about him. Treating us differently because they were mad at him.
Friends treat you differently, right? Like you had good friends and then their parents would get mad.
Yeah.
And then
just
you lose
politics, church politics and
you're 13 watching all this go down. And you're
and younger.
Younger, yeah, for sure. Younger, as we know, being in church. Like, but you kept loving it.
Yeah. It's the bedrock belief that people are flawed. That
like you accepted that?
That. That people hurt people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That any type of dysfunction that I saw in people usually wasn't even with my dad. It was because they had some hurt somewhere along the path, their path that they had not dealt with, that they had not rectified.
Your dad triggered them, or there was some miscommunication,
selfishness flared up in their lives,
misinterpretation of something.
They're trying to protect their own sin, their own.
Oh yeah,
it just at the end of the day, I think we just kind of understood that. Yeah. And I would say all my siblings probably feel differently. For me...
Yeah, but all your siblings love the church.
Yeah, it's true.
100%.
True.
No shadow of doubt.
Yeah.
They love church.
Yeah, absolutely. And all working in churches.
And working in churches, yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw in my mom and dad the love for the church.
So did they just keep loving? Did they exemplify humans are just flawed? Or do you guys all...
I saw my dad... walk into grocery stores of people that I knew. I'd see him in the grocery store and I wanted to run the shopping cart over there.
Oh, yeah. That's how I...
And my dad would initiate conversation with people he knew were talking bad about him. And he would say...
I totally believe that too.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. My dad never, I don't think, unless he just hid it from us really well, harbored a grudge.
Yeah, no,
or
he
kept
doesn't
something.
seem like a grudge harborer.
I think if he saw those same people today, he would greet them and show them love. Yeah. And I think, I never really even thought about this.
And they lied about him.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Full on.
Told me things about
him. Yeah.
I remember when I was... I was probably 19. I was working in road construction and painting the stripes on the freeway and working
all night long,
working all night, and then working in the church during the day, barely sleeping. And I saved up enough money to buy a new car. And I bought a Mercedes 300 class.
I thought it was your Mustang.
No, that was a different car. Okay. The Mustang was nice too, but I like cars. But I bought a Mercedes and it was beautiful. It was black on black. It was just gorgeous, had wheels put on it. And I remember the first time I went to go work out, I had some guy approach me and he said, it must be nice that your dad's dipping in the offering so you can drive such a nice car. And it was the first time that I kind of I really, maybe not the first time, but I really got upset because I'd worked really hard.
You worked
I had saved $6,000. I bought it from a salvage title
all night
auction in Portland, Oregon. And I'd been watching the prices and I got this car and I'd saved up $6,000 cash and I bought it. And then that's the first thing that I hear. And I was so proud of it. And I loved it. And there's just ugliness in people. And I think I had to really battle that. And my dad, it never fazed him. Yeah. He just kept on being integrous.
It phased him,
character.
Though deep down, he just kept on being integrous. And that's what you saw.
Yeah.
And that's what he modeled to his kids.
Right.
And that's huge.
And even I just can't imagine as a dad, he was never even defensive for me. I thought maybe he'd be like, well,
there was the one time he did tell you to throw the punch.
Well, yes.
That was a great one.
That was a heroic moment. What was not heroic was my brother having to rescue me after I threw the punch. But
the little king?
That's the little king. Yeah, he saved my life because I think I could have been really severely hurt.
Oh my goodness. So you think the reason though that you just kept loving it, even though you were people say I'm hurt by the church, I'm hurt by the church. They have no idea how hurt pastors are by the church.
Yeah, I think people don't think that, it's kind of I don't know. People don't think that pastors have feelings, maybe.
Right.
And my dad used to say this. He said, when people say they're leaving the church, but they're fine with me, he said, they don't understand that I am a part of the church. And so when they leave the church, they leave me. And so he said, every time someone leaves the church, it feels like I'm getting broken up with.
That's accurate.
Yeah, and it is accurate. And we've seen that.
And breakups are okay.
And breakups are okay.
But it still hurts.
And people have different seasons. Yeah. But it is. And you care about people so deeply that when they struggle, you hurt.
Yeah.
When they get mad at you, it hurts. When they post things about you, it hurts. Yeah. And luckily, when I was growing up, we didn't have social media. So, my dad never saw that type of thing. But there's always ways to get to people. But he just handled it with such grace. Yeah. And I think I never really thought about it this way, but I think I inherited a lot of that in that, I don't get phased. It hurts.
Yeah.
I feel pain for sure and disappointment. But I think I understand at the end of the day what I said before, hurt people. It's not about me. It's
humans
about
will always be humans.
Right. What people are walking through.
Yep. But what you're saying is it was always modeled to you like love, reach out, always have open arms, always be the first to approach, always and never wish ill on anyone. Yeah. And you were just like, don't do that. Like, you can't do that. Like, we loved them once upon a time, you know?
Still love them. We do. We still love. We don't want anything bad to happen. My
listeners are going to like love you and think you're insane. And I'm like, no, I'm just joking. I know you'd be happy to share your flaws as well. But that is one of mine, is vindictiveness.
Yeah. It's hard.
And shaming.
It's hard.
Because, I can do the shaming thing. I can do the vindictive thing sometimes. Or not act it out, but walk it through. Like I can be laying in bed at night thinking how I'm going to win an argument, right? Like that's... But when I smiled and you were like, no, don't do that. Like, don't even think a bad thing about anybody. I'm just like, oh, geez, I did marry a freaking saint. It's so annoying.
Well, I don't know about that. But
except for your driving.
Driving. Dropped us down a point on our marriage.
Okay, let's fast forward now. Okay, so you're not a kid anymore. You're 16 years old. Yeah. You've liked God. Yeah. You are a Christian child, you know, because a lot of people listening are going to have kids that are Christians, like 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds. The whole time you're in church, you're playing sports, you have an awesome close-knit family, there's all these amazing things happening in your life. And then all of a sudden everything changes on December 9th, 1997, when a pastor comes to town. Yeah. And I want to hear this story because you mention it a lot from the platform, but you never expound on the story. And that's what this is about, is being able to really tell the story of, because you were a good kid, a normal Christian kid who was, I'm sure you had your,
Absolutely. We'll talk about that.
I can imagine. But you were going through the motions. Mm-hmm. And it was genuine, I would feel. Yeah. Knowing you, it would have been genuine. At 10 years old, it was probably genuine.
Yeah.
Like you
love the Lord. I love the
loved the Lord. You believed in it all. You had genuine faith. But then December 9th comes along, 1997. Yep. And your entire life changes. Yeah. So tell that story.
Yeah. When I was 15, it's my sophomore year of high school, I had an incredible freshman year of baseball. Mm-hmm. And did really well. Been playing baseball my whole life. My dad played college ball and always wanted to play baseball. And actually quit some other sports to completely focus in on baseball. And the varsity coach came and found me at the end of my freshman year and said, we're really excited for you to come back. Next year, your sophomore year, we've got a spot open and we think that you could be the varsity starting second baseman as a sophomore.
Which is at that age.
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was,
everything.
And that was everything. I was just on the right track, the right trajectory for what I wanted to do and how I wanted to succeed. And I felt a lot of value from the success that I had and from doing well. And my sophomore year, for some reason, and still to this day, if I talk to former players or coaches, like nobody knows why, 4 days into my sophomore year, of baseball practice, I got cut from the high school team completely. Not like just on JV. Like I got cut. Like, we don't have a place for you. And as a 15-year-old, it shattered me. Oh yeah. At a place. Now at this stage of life, it feels very shallow. Oh, sure. With things that we've walked through and whatever, to say that it was painful. Yeah. But it was
like your first real.
Yeah, like I wasn't wanted. I was rejected. I wasn't good enough. I was lied to. It was unfair. There was a kid that had moved from Kansas City that came in that summer, and he took my spot. So they only had a spot for him, and they cut me. It was a smaller school, and I was just like, what am I going to do? Yeah. And so that summer, it sounds almost silly to say, but like I really turned to the Lord. And
what did that look like?
Like crying, like ugly tears, but just saying, God, like, I trust you in whatever you're trying to do and whatever you're trying to show me.
Did you trust him, or were you
I really did.
To really I really did. Okay.
I really did trust
probably
him.
The foundation of the last 15 years.
Right, of my parents, my family. And so I just, God, I trust you. But I was mad. I was hurt. And it didn't fracture my faith, but I think it jolted me.
Yeah.
In a way of like, okay, what am I doing? Where are we going? So anyways, fast forward, December 9th, it's a Monday night, we're having a revival meeting. So we're Pentecostal, we're getting after it. And revival meeting, Pastor Benny Perez and the legend is coming into Centralia, Washington. And so we have this service, and at the end of the service, I don't even remember what he preached. I remember coming down to the altar, and I just remember I was having some questions in my own heart and mind. About the Lord and about my future and what I was going to do.
Were you doubting like him?
Not his existence, but like
is he good?
Is there more?
Is there more? Okay, gotcha.
Because like,
is there more?
There's no context for me, life outside of church ministry, Christianity.
Right.
And
you
so
were kind of in a bubble.
Yeah, definitely in a bubble and wondering, should I venture outside this bubble? Is there a different life for me? And I'm wanting to date girls. I'm wanting to do things and go places and just kind of get out of the bubble.
Girls.
And date girls. Did I mention that? And I came to the altar and I just knelt down, and that night at the front of the auditorium, and I remember just praying this prayer, Lord, I want to serve you. But if all there is what I've experienced, kind of just coming to church, living good, forgiving people, worship, preaching, this is just the whole thing, then I think I want to do some other stuff.
Sure.
But if there's more, if there's more to you, if there's more to this life, more to faith, more to your presence, all of that, then I want all of it.
Right.
And I just really felt like that night I was saying, I'm going to make a decision. I'm either, if you can show me more, and this is, we pray dangerous prayers in these vulnerable moments. And I told the Lord, if you can show me there's more to you, then I'll spend.
Did you say it out loud? Did you say it in your heart, your head?
I would probably say it in my head.
Were you standing or
kneeling?
You were
kneeling at the altar. And I said, if there's more to you, I'll spend the rest of my life telling people that. Yeah. That's just the prayer that came out of my mouth, maybe without even thinking about it. But I said that. Yeah. And it's hard to even explain. And sometimes I don't even like to talk about the encounter part of it, because I don't want to broad stroke that every encounter with God is this major emotional, feely thing. But for me, it was in that moment.
Sure.
I sensed the tangible presence of God. I began to weep. For an hour and a half at the front of the auditorium. I just began to weep and cry. And I didn't know really what was happening.
Were people leaving? Did you know?
I didn't know. I was totally unaware of what people were doing or didn't care. I was so in
was
that
anybody
moment.
praying over you?
Nobody's praying. No one's touching me.
You just walked forward, knelt, said those words, and
other people responded, I think, to some type of call. Right.
But as far as you were concerned, nobody's putting their hands on you or anything, like praying, nothing.
Just my own moment. And I, this is the framework. This is anything goes, old school, Pentecostal. And so I from my knees, I go down on my face on the carpet, and I'm weeping before the Lord and crying. Yeah. And
but what's going through your head?
I'm not sure at this point, except I can.
You just feel at this point something
I
really,
sense
really
God's
big.
Closeness is what I sense. Like
what did it feel like?
He's there. Yeah. Like tangible. Yeah. And then I felt desire. And I think that I hadn't felt desire like that before. Desire for Him, for God. Like I felt it growing to the point where I just started out of my mouth. The only thing I was saying at this point vocally was the name of Jesus. Yeah. And unbeknownst to me is I was really saying the name of Jesus, like shouting out the name of Jesus. But in that moment, I didn't even know. I felt strong desire towards God. And begin to just say the name of Jesus and cry out the name of Jesus.
And pause. You never felt any pressure to have a moment?
Yeah, never.
It was never like, we can't wait for Dustin to have his moment.
No,
from your parents.
never.
So none of this, it's all pure. Not 1 ounce of it was you being like, I should probably go and try and get a moment because I'm in a broken place.
Yeah, no.
Like it was 100% you down there. Yeah, just being touched by God.
Really having an honest conversation. And then really have an encounter with God, with His presence. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like crying out the name of Jesus, and I'm on my face, and I start to now thoughts are starting to come in my mind. Like I'm having these I don't even know how to explain it, like crystal clear thoughts.
Yeah.
Like God speaking to me, like crystal clear things. And at that point, I'm not identifying this is the voice of God and he's speaking to you, but I'm hearing things not just for me, but like for our church and for our nation and stuff like God's desiring to touch people, that God's love for people is unfailing, that God desires to remove shame and
But it was more
depression.
than just words at that point. Like you were feeling it.
Yeah, I could
like
feel
a prophet.
it. Like I felt a burden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my heart was breaking. Like I couldn't be quiet.
Yeah.
And out of this experience, fast forward a little bit, I'll come back.
Yeah.
But out of this experience, one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 9. And in the prophet Jeremiah, he says, but if I say I will not mention his name any longer, his word is in my heart like a fire. Yeah. Like a fire shut up in my bones. I cannot keep it in.
And that was this
when I found that scripture, which was months after this encounter, it was like it was words on my experience. Wow. And that scripture's been everything to me since then. Yeah. My preaching.
You may get it tattooed on you one day.
Yes, maybe. Yep. And people say, well, you preach with such energy. I don't think it's energy.
It's not energy.
It's the same unction that I had when I was 16 is a heartbreaking for people to experience. And then I think back to the prayer that I prayed was, if you can show me there's more, I will tell other people there's more. Yep. And so at that point, the pastor, Pastor Benny, he had, I didn't know this, but I was like kind of like saying these things out loud about God's heart for us, his love for us, his plan for us. And he put the mic next to my mouth as I'm laying at the altar. And this goes on for like 20 minutes.
Wow. And people are still there.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't know.
I had no idea. I'd not even opened my eyes in an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah.
And so after 20 minutes, finally, I'm kind of like, what am I doing? It's just like, and then I started kind of like embarrassed, like, oh man, like, wow, I was really like shouting. And I just felt a lot. I cried a lot. My eyes are puffy. And so I'm like, man, what is happening? And I get up, and there was probably 200 people in the room that night. And not one person was standing. The tangible presence of God was in the room so strong. Every single person was either on their knees or on their face. And so I think it was a real like special moment in not only me, but in other people's lives that were in the room. Yeah. And that next morning, I kind of went home like, wow, something like I felt exhausted, kind of wow, that was crazy.
Did you feel different?
I did. I felt like a sort of lightness, but I also felt like weary, like in my body. Yeah. And then maybe just wondering, like, was that just like a lot of brokenness that just came out, a lot of emotion that just came out of me. And I remember just kind of like falling into bed that night, super tired. It was late when we got home, and I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. And I love sports, still love sports. My walls were wallpapered with sports posters, and which people in Dallas and would love to hear this. 3 posters on one wall that I had in my bedroom were Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, and Troy Aikman. The original.
All Seahawks, right?
Is that an honest question?
No, I know.
All Dallas Cowboys.
I've been married you long enough to know.
All Cowboys. And then I had a bunch of Seahawks stuff and Sonics, rest in peace. And all of that. But I remember just waking up at 5 a.m., which is not normal for me.
Right. Or it wasn't at that time.
It wasn't.
I've never known you for that to not be normal.
I woke up at 5 a.m. and
you're
it was
a 16-year-old kid,
16-year-old
kid waking up at 5 a.m. all of a sudden on your own.
On my own. No alarm, nothing. I just woke up after a late night. Yeah. And I put on worship music, which back in the day, that was a worship CD. Like I turned on my Discman.
Like Vineyard? Or?
Yeah, probably Vineyard. Change my
the
heart.
The Hallelujah. Maranatha.
Isn't he
wonderful?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those are the days.
Some good old classics.
They really were good.
What was it? Refiner's Fire.
Oh, Refiner's Fire was killer.
That was a beauty. We might bring that one back.
We should.
Pastor Ben?
We should remix Refiner's Fire. That's a good one. Okay. Anyways, you put on your CD or your tape,
and I just started to pray and
out loud.
Out loud.
Was the little king there?
Little King was probably sleeping up on the top bunk, and I just like and at that point I knew that I needed to start giving my mornings to God.
Yeah, this is where this started.
Everything changed.
Yeah.
I moved out of the room with the little king.
Okay.
In Washington State, made my own room in the garage. My parents said—
This is on Cowlitz.
This is on Cowlitz. Okay. My parents said if I wanted to, that I asked them if I could make my own room in the garage. They said it's freezing cold. I didn't know it was bad for me at the time, but I bought a propane heater and I would blow the propane heater in my face at night as I slept on a couch that I put, because we're talking like 30 degrees.
Right.
I mean,
Oh yeah, I know.
cold.
Yeah, I was up the hill.
And I used office.
I was up on Sandy Boulevard.
I used office dividers, cubicle dividers,
Oh my goodness.
to make a room in the garage. And that's where I lived and prayed for years and years. And
so every morning,
I gave up. Baseball entirely. I didn't go back to it. I did go back to football and played.
You have a great football story too.
I do.
Go ahead and share it.
I don't know which one.
He's a great guy. If he's listening, which he's not, he won't mind.
Well, Jamie was not dating me at the time that I was
We
playing
didn't even
football.
know each other, but we were in the same small town.
I decided I was going to go back out for sports.
Yep.
Hadn't played football since my freshman year, going out my senior year. So I had 2 years off, which is bad for any high school football player. And but started 2 weeks late. I said, no, I'm playing. And so I walk on. And the coach is like, man, your senior year, this late, this is going to be, it's be a tough chance to get, to make varsity. And so by some luck, I think I made varsity, and I was second string running back to a individual that Jamie was dating. And
Number 7.
number 7, and still hate that number. Number 7, and so. I can't remember which game it was.
It was a home game because I was there.
It was a home game, yes. No, it wasn't a home game.
No,
it was
I'm
an
sure
away
it
game. It was
was. No,
R.A.
it was?
Long.
It
R.A.
was?
Long.
No way, Longview?
And, yep.
Okay, then I guess I was just there.
Yeah, you're traveling with him. Very faithful. Very faithful.
I had the Letterman jacket on.
Wow, and had the Letterman jacket. So it was a good night when I took a spot there in the lineup and had
Well, you
one of my
got to tell.
better
Oh,
games.
don't be humble.
Well, I was very unknown,
This is a great
and I had
moment.
not had a lot of playing time because I came in late. And so I put in, I was number 40.
Yeah, they took him out.
And
they put you in.
They took him out and put me in, and I got a carry, took a handoff 36 yards for a touchdown.
It was a long time. I still remember seeing you like running, and I was like, oh, we didn't even know each other.
And the announcer, they didn't know who it was. They were like, who is this number 40? My goodness. And it's like, okay, thanks, guys. Even in the paper the next day when they wrote about it, which is hilarious now, the newspaper. They wrote about it. They're like, so who is this number 40? And but I like to say it was prophetic act.
Okay. Yeah.
As I took that handoff and took his place, then I took his place also. When
many years later,
probably
10 years later.
Yeah,
10 or 11.
We both needed that time.
Yeah, oh, Lord knows we did. He was a great guy though. Okay, so anyways, so you
Still
went.
is, probably.
You said absolutely. So you went for football. You were saying, sorry, I interrupted you. You went for football.
Yeah, went for football, but my entire life had changed at that point.
Yeah.
And just a complete commitment to God, to His presence. And my mornings, I don't know if there was a morning
And that's when
my teenage, from 16 on, that I would sleep in and not spend time with the Lord.
Yeah.
I would get up early.
Every morning in your garage with your propane heater and pray.
You remember Delirious?
Oh, you know it.
I used to fall asleep.
Delirious. They're awesome.
You remember those like really chill songs there's 3 songs. They're like really still. They're on the double album. You remember the double album?
I remember the double album. I used to play it in my Saturn with the Dave Matthews Band.
Number 3, 11, and 12, I think it was. And I would put these songs on repeat on my CD player.
We need to find these.
And every night, propane heater blown in my face.
The Delirious.
The chill songs playing in the background. And I would fall asleep praying. I'd wake up in the morning and I'd pray. And it really, that's when things started just really shifting.
How do you think that played out? Because you've done that now for the rest of your life. For the next 20 years, you were to wake up and pray for the rest of time. I'm not bitter about it. You're laughing like I'm like complaining. Oh, I love that you wake up and pray. Just a little quieter, please, while I sleep in.
Yeah.
No. So for the next 20 years, there were some hard times coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in some intense battles coming.
Mm-hmm.
You share from the stage. You've battled anxiety at times. You've led really hard things. You've had really hard situations happen. Mm-hmm. You've been left by people. You've been hurt by people. You've hurt people and then had those regrets. Like the normal human life that everybody has.
Yeah.
and I asked you this a while ago, and I want everybody to hear your answer to it is like knowing what you've been through, knowing the intensity and drive with which you like live out your life, which is like at a 10, full throttle, accelerating toward the red brake lights at all times. How are you okay? For real. Like if we had the time to unpack what you've been through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be okay. Or you would at least be highly medicated, which no knock on that. Like that is needed at times for many, many people. But I just feel
I think
like
sometimes it's even, I don't know. It sounds cliche. Yeah. My answers.
They're usually the right ones though. Yeah.
Because I think that I've really learned to go to God.
Yeah.
As cliche as it sounds. Yeah. And not always in the right timing. I should go early or whatever. And there's been times in extreme battles with anxiety and times where I pushed out of maybe spiritual ambition into natural ambition and pushed the bounds of what I should do with my energy and trying to please people and trying to be the savior and help everybody.
Because you love to help.
I love helping people.
You love to help so much.
And there has to be and I guess what we're learning now is that at some point that you can't lose yourself in the midst of saving someone else. And so there is that balance. But I remember when I was 23, I had a friend that passed away suddenly. Yeah. And you remember him? Terry Dorr?
Yeah, the couches.
Yeah.
I think they're up in Pastor Ben's office.
I think so.
I think they are, the couches he gave you.
He's a good friend.
Yeah.
And just didn't have anybody in life and struggled with seizures and a lot of weird medical conditions. And one day he just drops dead. And he's 23. And I remember just like what anybody goes through, doubts and confusion of just like, why? And then if fast forward or rewind, I guess, when I was 15, I had a neighbor kid that I became his friend, and he was made fun of and just put down all the time. He had these massive like goggle glasses, looked like a headgear that he wore, and people always made fun of him. And so I befriended him. I felt bad for him, befriended him, and so he'd come over to the house. We'd play basketball, and his older brother would come over all the time, and we became good friends. And I led him to the Lord in my side yard playing wiffle ball, and so we prayed together, and he gave his life to Jesus, and he got him and his older brother got in an argument and over a Nintendo game, the original Nintendo, and he lost his temper. My friend, and grabbed a knife and went at his brother, and his brother wrestled the knife away. My friend Aaron ran, grabbed a gun, and brought it out. And the older brother, trying to help, wrestled the gun away. The gun went off, and it shot my friend, and he died. So there was just some of these traumatic moments with death specifically that shook me, and all the normal doubts and confusion and God, why came. But for some reason, I just always found myself coming back to a place of greater desperation for God versus anger at God. And I know people struggle. We talk about this all the time with people all the time. They're mad at God.
He was never the enemy.
He was never the enemy. And he was always my refuge and always my shield. And I know that, and I mean, you even know this to this day, like if I can get some time in prayer.
Oh, I know.
I'll be all right.
I know. If you're being a little sassy, I'm like, just go to your office, put on Delirious.
I've not listened to Delirious in a long time, but maybe we need to do that.
No, but it centers you.
It really does. It's I need it in my like if I just give it up in the morning, I'll do it. I need to start the day that way. I need to center myself.
Well, your stress levels are so high and the pressure is so great. I think going through a couple of days of which people don't know. We'll have Binky on here someday to tell us all because she knows your schedule more than anybody. But if you don't start it like that, I mean, by noon, I'd be ready to join YWAM again. So the answer is that, well, it's funny because a podcast we have coming up after you with Pastor Les, he gave the same exact answer for the antidote to anxiety, depression, and burnout.
Which it sounds so
it's
simple
so cliche
that like I don't even like saying it because people dismiss it so quickly. Like, oh, of course, go to God.
I think sometimes too is how do you go to God?
Yeah.
How? You know? And I think sometimes like people will hear a story like you've been praying since 5 a.m. every day for the last 20 years. How does somebody start to go to God?
Right.
How does a single mom start to go to God?
Yeah.
How does a guy that's working 3 jobs
You know one of the most simple things that I love to tell people, and people think I'm just like saying it's just like a simple task. I do this to this day. I will take worship music, I'll play it.
Well, I know what you're gonna say.
And what?
And you'll pray the words.
And pray the words. It is the most easiest, it's the easiest way to connect with God and to center your heart. Think about the words that we sing.
Yeah. And Refiner's Fire.
Yeah, Refiner's Fire. Don't sing that.
Keith Green. Keith Green.
Oh, Keith Green. Oh, my heart has become callous. Lord,
Those
you're beautiful.
Great words.
Oh, man, we need to bring some Keith Green back.
That's really good. Okay, so let's do some fun stuff to end with. Are we okay on the tape, guys, or do you need to switch any discs? Okay, guys, good. You guys are awesome.
I dropped my phone somewhere along the line. So. That's good.
This is casual. You can grab it if you want. Okay.
I'm not used to this casual.
So I knew you wouldn't like it, but it's just we got to get some me in here, you know?
Yeah, that's
okay,
good.
so
you're really good at this.
Thank you.
I feel like we're really connecting.
It's the best date we've had for years.
Yeah, I like it when you ask me questions. Let's go to dinner after this.
Okay,
for real.
We really are already, I think, with the aunties.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
God bless the aunties.
Some fun things. The aunties and the monsters. The aunties are not the monsters. The monsters are the little ones. Who are actual
angels.
Stinking angels. They really are.
Yes.
They're the best things in the world.
Best
okay.
Never happened to us.
Some things I think people would want to know about you is that I think people ask a lot, or that I get asked a lot, is walk us through preparing a message.
Oh.
How do you prepare a message?
All right.
I can tell them if you want me to try it.
Yeah, go ahead. Give it a... How do you do these podcasts anyways? You like cut them up, or...
We'll edit it. We edit anything you don't want, but it'll be pretty raw.
Nice.
Yeah. Like this will most likely make the cut because
it's going to be good.
Because it's casual like me.
It's good.
Okay.
Casual.
How to prepare a message. Because you've been preaching now for 23 years. And you preach how many times do you preach this year?
This year?
2018, how many times did you preach? Counting trips. And you rarely preach the same message. Once in a while you will if I convince you to.
Yeah, I think it was like 300 and
something. Yeah. Counting all the services together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
maybe more than that if we're counting. Yeah.
So let's say knowing you of those 300, I can't do fast math, but some of them are duplicates because they're multiple services, but most likely you probably preach at least 70 original sermons a year or more.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot for anybody who doesn't know. I've preached twice.
Yeah, so I think a good number would probably be 50. So let's just say 50. There's 52 weeks in the year.
Okay, 50 original.
So we'll say at least once a week.
So if you're traveling, maybe you'll use a different one, which I think you don't normally. But we'll go 50. Okay, so that's excruciating to come up with a message every single week. Like it is so...
It's like a final exam every weekend.
It's a final exam every weekend. And I don't know if people understand. Like I think somebody equated at one time to preaching so many minutes is equivalent to running...
Preaching for an hour is the mind consumption and energy consumption equivalent to an 8-hour workday.
An 8-hour workday, that's it. Yep. For an hour of preaching.
Yeah.
Now I teach 16 hours in 4 days every year at YWAM Wiley. Shout out YWAM Wiley. I love you guys.
Come on, YWAM Wiley.
I love you guys
Bauman's,
so
you're amazing.
much. And I come home ready to party. Because I'm just talking, I'm sharing my heart and blah, blah, blah. Preaching is a really intensive, not to discredit teaching or anything that I do at all. Like there's, obviously the Bible talks about teaching and preaching, but there's something about what you do that's really intense and really draining. And you prepare for it every week. So you start over every Monday morning.
Yeah.
What is the process of starting? Because you love it. I know you love it. Yeah. If you could probably pick one aspect of it all, you would do it. Because that's obviously the thing that you were called to when Pastor Benny put the mic up to your face. And you knew it then. But what's the process?
Yeah, so for me, it always starts with prayer.
Okay.
Another cliche answer. And I'll just... Deep work is like, that's a great explanation of getting your mind to a neutral, like a place of neutral. Yeah. And I'm just spending time with the Lord. And I'm thinking about our people. So if I'm speaking to our church, I'm thinking about our church.
You're seeing our people in their seats.
Yes.
You're seeing the Reeves. You're seeing the Levitts. You're seeing all of them. You're seeing our staff.
Yep.
And
then I'm just praying.
Yep.
But I'm not praying like, okay, these are the issues. Now, how do we get them to change?
That's one thing you never do. I have tried to talk you into preaching.
Always out of revelation, never out of frustration.
Yes, that's what. Did Bishop teach us that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Bishop.
He always said you never desecrate the stage.
Yes.
By preaching to something you know.
And never preach something to the audience that you should communicate on a couch.
On a couch.
Yeah, in an office.
Don't make the 1,500 pay for what the 200 that you're trying to be passive aggressive, or one that you're trying to be passive aggressive with. That's so
right.
And
I think people a lot of times say
good.
like, "Oh man, I felt like that was talking straight to me." You were saying straight to me, and it's not the case.
Right.
But as we spend time with the Lord and God communicates things, God will illuminate different things to different people. Yeah. And we'll feel it. The goal of great preaching is that every person that's hearing it would say, I feel like that was directly to me.
Yep.
And you can gauge good preaching by the fact that everyone says that there's a different aspect that they feel like, oh, he was talking straight to me.
Right.
And so I start out by prayer and I begin to pray, and I still go old school right now because if I have all my electronics open, phone and computer, then it's so easy for me to get distracted. Yeah. I'm on Amazon and on social media. And so I'll just take out a notepad or a journal and I'll just pray. And as I get thoughts, I'll literally just scribble down the thoughts. So as I'm preparing.
So what would a thought be?
A thought, for this coming Sunday, I'm preaching starting a series called I'm In. And talking about the early church, Acts chapter 2 verse 42, it says, and they were devoted. And that word just jumped out to me.
Okay.
They were devoted. Yeah. So now I'm just praying. So I wrote down on my.
So are you praying while you're reading?
I'm praying. I was.
Or was it already in your head because it was?
Yeah, it just kind of came. Yeah, that scripture kind of came to my mind,
Okay,
and they were devoted. Yep. So I started looking up what devoted means. It means committed. It means a continuous. It means a long obedience. It was they gave themselves to a construct consistently. Wow. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So now I'm just thinking about it. Well, what's the difference between somebody that's devoted and not? Yeah. So then I thought spectator, participator, someone in the stands or someone on the field. So now I'm just expounding. Yeah. And so my dad taught me this, is that writing a message is similar to writing a paper. That it's introduction, transition statement, body, transition statement, conclusion. So a lot of that I'll just play out in my mind of, okay, now here's the text. And I pull the message from the text. A lot of people do it different ways, topical, whatever. But I want the text to communicate my message. If I want to be heavy on something, I want to be heavy on text. For sure. I want to be heavy on the word. And so as I'm praying, there's really no rhyme or reason at this point, but I'm just beginning to decipher what is the main thing, God, that you're saying. What's the main thing that you're communicating? Yeah. And right now is, what does it take to be in?
Okay.
To be in the early church.
So that's what you got this morning.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But specifically, as I'm putting it together for Sunday this morning, so
you got devoted. This is what it means. Devoted translated into our language is all in.
Yeah, all in.
And so what does it mean to be that?
Yeah, and so
you're going to work. You reverse engineer it a little.
Yeah, because you have to think about the listener and how it hits them in your main message. If you just go illustrations and then try to build a message, it's the cart before the horse. I got to think about what is the revelatory thought, what is the thing that God wants to communicate, and then you back into the message of what that structure is like. So I'll write it down on Notepad.
And is that the yellow one or the moleskin?
Usually in the yellow one. And
yellow one's the first one.
Yep. And then I'll condense it as I get further now.
Condense it in the moleskin?
Into the moleskin.
Okay. So two different writing.
Yep. And then from the moleskin, I'll type it.
Okay.
And then I'll put it actually into note form.
And is this, I think you've said this before, I think it was you, that you put it all in and then you just start deleting.
Yeah. Yeah. Because for me, a lot of the writing.
You're trying to get it in you.
For a lot of the writing is memorization.
Yeah.
So writing, I memorize things better by writing than typing. So by writing it, I'm just getting that word in me. Yeah. I'm filling myself up. And then I study all around the subject. Usually when I preach, I'm only preaching 50% or 40% of the content that I've studied.
Yeah. Is that frustrating?
Yes. Because you wish you had more time to explain and to go deeper in the Greek and the Hebrew. And I like the depths and the layers. Right. But I think that sometimes people get enamored with preaching revelation.
Yeah, like dropping bombs.
Yes. Yeah. And getting people to say wow and to tweet it or whatever, but they don't communicate to the audience. Right. And so
they didn't unpack the text at all.
Right.
No judgment.
And yeah.
Not looking for him to come back on me.
And I want to just communicate a thought.
Yeah.
And I want there to be revelation. I want people to be touched every way, intellectually, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I want to challenge them intellectually and mentally where they think, oh, I didn't know that. I'm learning something.
Or I hadn't thought about that perspective.
Exactly. But I want to touch them emotionally too. I want them to feel something. Yeah. I want them to feel the passion of the moment, the energy of what's being communicated. But then spiritually, I want them to encounter God through the message.
Yeah. That's really good.
So that prep, it takes hours.
Yeah. Well, how many? Well, for you, you don't have enough hours.
Yeah, I probably for a Sunday message, it's at least probably 12 hours dedicated study that I'm putting into the message.
And that's you who's been doing it 23 years. I think I don't want to misquote Robert Morris because he's a legend, but I think he's given himself
like 30 hours of his work week. I was going to say, I think it's
30 hours that he gives. Yeah. What's the story where the guy was so mad because he wouldn't meet with Robert Morris, for anybody who doesn't know, is the pastor of the amazing church, Gateway Church.
Incredible man of God. Great leader.
So great. And some guy was mad at him because he couldn't meet with him, right? Even though he has like 100 pastors on staff that could do it because he wanted to meet with Pastor Robert. And do you remember the story? Pastor Robert was like, do you like my messages on Sunday? Do they touch you? And the guy was like, well, yeah. And he was like, I don't just walk out on stage. I don't walk out with this.
Right.
Like, I spend hours in prayer. Pastors who take it seriously will.
Yeah.
Pastors who just want, some won't. Yeah. But the pastors who would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like the pastors.
My grandfather, my mom's dad.
Yes.
He was a pastor and passed away years ago. And he was passionate about being pure in the pulpit.
Yeah.
That you never take that time for granted. Yeah. You would never get up in that place unprepared, not having prayed, not having been pure, not having studied, I'm being ready. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a fear of God in me
I'm sure.
that I had somebody that was new to the church, and I love this because it's just brand new. People don't know. And they're like, man, like, that was so cool. You just got up there and like talked about all that stuff. I'm like, I have thought, prayed, studied, written, erased, deleted, started over. And then I worked to not use notes at all.
Yeah.
That by the time that I'm preaching.
Not 4 weeks ago because we were gone 4 weeks ago, but 2 months ago, your notes got deleted. Remember that? Yeah, they got deleted. And you preached the whole time.
iPad. I usually have my notes on my iPad.
Do you remember what message that was?
I don't remember what message it was.
I would love for people to go back and listen to it, knowing that they were deleted.
Yeah.
Because it was awesome.
But I think that's the goal, is that the message would be so in me that I wouldn't just read off to people notes, that I'm well studied and prepared enough. Yeah. And it is.
And you honor them by that. You honor the people.
Absolutely.
By doing that.
To be a good steward of God's word. Yep. And I think people do underestimate a little bit like how long it takes to prepare and study and be ready. It is a difficult process, but it's enjoyable. I love studying. Yeah. I love preparing. I wish I could do it more.
That's so good. I know. Okay, so let's end with this. I had some people on my Insta stories. I opened up for 40 minutes. Anybody, they could ask me anything they want to know about you. Okay, so I had a few. I couldn't do them all because we're out of time. But many podcasts go an hour 30, so we're fine. Okay, this is what some people want to know. And this is hilarious because I thought they'd be like super deep questions. Yeah. Like, how do you grow closer to God and how do you battle doubt? Wait till you hear these. These are amazing. I love our people so much. This is so great. Well, the first one's ridiculous, but Pastor Cameron, shout out.
Pastor Cam.
Do you freestyle for me?
Will I freestyle?
Do you?
I think he meant to say, will I?
Okay.
Because he wants right now on the podcast for me to freestyle for him.
Oh, That makes so much more sense. I'm like,
Yeah.
Pastor Cam, of course.
Cam, as soon as you take some grammar classes, yes.
I might have miswrote it, though. I didn't copy paste
I love you,
these.
P. Cam.
That makes so much more. He wants you to freestyle on here.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. Sorry about that, Pastor Cam. I was like, I can't imagine. Does anybody
Cam,
imagining?
but since we're on a podcast, I'll do that last. Because
Dustin,
I'm not starting.
freestyling around the house. Okay. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
I probably know
this?
I was just about to say. I bet I know the answer to these better than you,
Go ahead.
Braveheart.
Braveheart, yes. I would
That's
say,
been your consistent favorite, I feel like, since I've known you.
Yes.
And it holds up.
Yes, Braveheart is incredible.
What do you think? Oh.
Yeah, I think you might have forgotten. It's all right. But Gladiator has always been Russell Crowe.
Gladiator.
Which I know that you cannot
I know, I
stand.
can't stand Gladiator.
But all my Gladiator fans, let me know.
He doesn't smile one time in the whole movie. We've had this argument since we started dating.
Yeah, and so you got a problem that he hasn't smiled?
Braveheart's your favorite, that's it. I'm the boss here.
All right, you run whatever it is, Backstage.
Gladiator, those really are great movies, though. Great job. I think they're both Oscar winners, too. Not bad.
Oh, no.
Highbrow much. Okay, what watch brands do you wear?
Which watch brands? Right now, I'm wearing a Nixon.
A Nixon?
Which I like Nixon.
Was that from Binky?
It's from the church gift.
Was that for your 20-year anniversary?
No.
Not anniversary.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
preaching.
it. Just, text Bianca. But I wear a lot of different brands. I was given one of the nicest watches that I own is a Breitling. And it's a super nice watch. And if any watch enthusiasts out there,
Breitling. Is that the one where the person who gave it to you also brought the huge
the
winder?
Yes.
That's still in our closet?
Yeah.
I gotta figure out how to use that. Okay.
But that was an incredible gift. That's a beautiful watch.
You love watches, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I love watches. I'm not into them big time, but I'm following Pastor Benny's example. I'm going to try to just get better at my taste in watches. He just bought a new one. You should ask him about it.
Oh, he did? Okay. Did you pass out in the delivery room? We don't even have time for this story. I mean, you didn't, but...
Is this someone with previous knowledge? I have?
This is for one of your...
I did not pass out in the delivery room.
No, you didn't.
And I watched, and you had to have a C-section.
Yep, and you watched it
all. And I watched the entire thing.
I could not believe it. And I was having so much anxiety
I was partially scarred.
Watch it.
But that was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
I didn't know how C-sections work.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was crazy.
I couldn't believe you. I still can't believe you watched it.
Yeah, and I'm not good with blood.
Oh, yes.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
Do you remember when I had staph infection on my face?
Oh, yeah. Connie got up in there.
No, when I went to the doctor, I had to go to the doctor.
Oh, yes. And he drained it?
It was massive. He stuck a needle.
Okay, yeah.
And passed out.
Yeah,
there.
you passed out multiple times.
I woke up in his arms, and he had beautiful brown eyes. But it's embarrassing.
But you didn't pass out. I still can't believe you watched them cut me open and pull a baby out. And I was so, thankfully there was so much medicine in me because watching you, I was like, don't do it.
Yeah, you were more worried about me
100%
than the baby coming out.
For sure. Okay, next one. Candy corn or sugar cookies?
Oh, wow. I love candy corn and sugar cookies. Wow. I think I know who wrote this.
Who?
I think this might be Val Garza.
No. It's one of your girls here.
Oh, man. Robin Cheshire.
Yep, that's it.
I knew it was one of those. Yeah, they used to give me Randy candy corn all the time.
No, they didn't. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I couldn't. I've stopped that now.
When I saw that Val Garza did ask who your favorite staff member is, so you better say her now.
Oh, wow. Oh, no pressure.
I didn't know the history behind the question. I was like, this seems like such a weird question for Robin Cheshire to ask.
And if you have not had my sister's sugar cookies,
we can't even talk about
then you have not lived. I mean,
we can't even talk about it.
They are addicting.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Probably some trace of narcotics.
It's 100% laced with cocaine. Okay. What is your morning routine? And are you a stickler for routine? You kind of already answered this. But
yes, I am a stickler for a routine. I get up.
Your alarm wakes me up bright and early.
I get up. I do the same things every single morning. I eat the same exact things.
2 boiled eggs?
2 boiled eggs.
Any salt and pepper on them?
Nope. Straight up over the sink, peel it, choke them down, throw some water back, and I'm off and running. Protein after my workout. Spend
Elite
time
Fuel.
with the Lord.
Shout out Elite Fuel.
Elite Fuel. If you're looking for a great supplement, #ad. Elite Fuel, look them up.
Oh, that's an insane joke. Not Elite Fuel, #ad. And here's my favorite question
Okay.
that you're not going to be able to answer because you won't watch it with me.
Oh.
Who's your favorite West Wing character?
I will watch.
If you can tell me one name of one of the characters on West Wing, I will.
It starts with a B. President Bartlett. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I am trying to take us from a 9 to a 10.
We are on our way. We're at a 9.2 right now. Okay, you did really good. I'm really honestly shocked and impressed. Okay, and he would be your favorite character.
All right.
All right. Last question. I ask every guest this question, and we're done. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Ooh, great question. What would I tell my 20-year-old self? I would tell my 20-year-old self to celebrate the wins.
Yes, it's great.
Take time to celebrate it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my 20-year-old self a quote that I've been telling myself right now that I've just heard a couple pastors recently say, that we overestimate what we can do in a year and we underestimate what we can do in 10. And I would tell my 20-year-old self that God's going to do great things, but you don't have to do it right now, today, tomorrow, and stretch myself. I think I would tell my 20-year-old self, I guess I'm telling you a lot of things to tell my 20-year-old self.
This is the point, yeah.
Everything. I would tell my 20-year-old self, it's good. I'd tell my 20-year-old self to probably slow down, which is, I think I would tell my 30-year-old self to slow down too, and my 38-year-old self to slow down, but just to slow down. I think the biggest thing is just celebrate the wins, which you remember at our wedding, Sean Smith, great friend of ours, he spoke at our wedding and he told us that. I don't know if you remember that, but he said,
if you do one thing, slow down, celebrate. You know what's crazy is upcoming podcast, Pastor Les Welk said the exact same thing.
Really? No way.
He tells a story of Christmas tree shopping. I'm giving away my next podcast, but Christmas tree shopping with Doris and him being so distracted and how he wished he just could have remembered the joy of the moment of like, here I am with my whole family Christmas tree shopping.
Right.
But he wasn't celebrating it. It's really touching. Come back next week.
I will be listening.
But that's interesting.
Pastor Les, you're incredible.
That there's a theme here with that. Celebrate the wins. Why is it so hard?
Is
it ambition?
I think it's ambition. I think it's the overarching goal is greater than the current accomplishment. So we run to get the next thing, but we're missing out on valuable years and things. And I think even, this is like super sappy, but even taking Jude to his first day of kindergarten, it's like, whoa, this is going by fast. This is incredible how fast these things are moving. And I think I just want to make sure I slow down and I enjoy those. And I take time to remember them. When you move fast and you're redlining, which we've done a lot, or your memory's bad. You just can't even remember because you're moving on to the next thing. And I want to make sure that I can slow down enough to remember the precious moments that God's given us and wins and victories and people and friendships and
staff.
Just incredible stories of God's grace and life change. And Valerie Garza is a great example, totally turned 180 degrees. Can't say she's my favorite staff member. It's just, I can't give favorites, but the life change it's incredible. Like slow down,
you want to be
celebrate.
Able to remember it. And celebrate it. And that's really, really good. Well, luckily you married somebody who all I want to do is really celebrate all the time.
You are a celebrator. You are a 9.
Any ambition
and
or
you're
drive
exactly what I need.
Okay, well, this was great. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I love
you.
Love you. Number 9.